Hello everybody, how are you? Hope you are all well. My name is Tapus Kumar Basu on behalf of my channel, the Technical Analysis of Financial Product. Today I have decided to throw some light about the present budget. We have all seen that our finance minister has placed the budget just 2 3 days back. So now let us explain, let me analyze about the budget. What are the key points of the budget? What are the key points of the budget? So just I would like to highlight these points. First of all, you know the 2021-22 India peaked foreign GDP growth around 9.2 percentage, and India has grown particularly 9.2 percentage, definitely. And the fiscal deficit on that year, India peaked for 6.8 percentage, but the India has reached the fiscal deficit as 6.9 percentage. It's a minor slippage of 0.1 percentage. It means not so much of the fiscal deficit of India has not been widened. So it's not a matter of so much of concern. It means that India is definitely exercising for the fiscal prudence. But this year budget and 2022-23, India's GDP growth will be around an 8 to 8.5 percentage, which is clearly mentioned in the budget. And the India has peaked for an fiscal deficit to 2022-23 at 6.4 percentage, and previous budget it was 6.8 percentage, now has 6.4 percentage. Means India is really working hard and really working hard to check the fiscal deficit. I mean, India is doing a lot of exercise for the fiscal prudence. Now, the most important thing of this budget, which is a very, very important thing, that India has increased the capital expenditure. India has increased the capital expenditure 35.4% of GDP with comparison to the previous budget, right? So it means in the previous budget, India increased the capital expenditure of 5.5 lakh crore, where this budget, India has increased and 7.5 lakhs crore. That to increase the capital expenditure means for this capital expenditure to be utilized for the construction of national highways. India has projected the national highways construction, national highways around 25 kilometers. For that, India has sanctioned for 20,000 crore. Then the ports, airports, and housing. These are the particular sector will be is to be are considered as an capital expenditure. And for housing purpose, India has approved an 48,000 crore. So that capital expenditure has increased means that it means a lot of job opportunities will create. It means that those are the company which will be involved for construction of the national highways or ports and airports and housing. These are the company definitely will be needing more employment for particular for particular these sort of activities. So by increasing the capital expenditure, India is directly that increasing the job opportunities. So this is the way, this is how India has created a job opportunity in this budget. Second thing which I'd like to highlight you, that MSME is a particular sector which is very much involved with GDP. You know that MSME is a sector which definitely help our GDP to be grown higher side and higher side. So if the MSME sector is being boosted very strongly, definitely it will invigorate our Indian economy, and it will also accelerate the GDP growth. You know that in the last pandemic year, the last year when we were suffering from pandemic, on that time MSME sector, particularly this sector, was highly affected. And on that time, the government also requested the bankers to sanction the loan for the MSME sector, so that the particular this sector can be survived. But the bank has actually a lot of bankers, they had some phobia in their minds, and they are really reluctant to provide to sanction the loan, because by thinking that hopefully if the MSME sector is not survives, so it will be very much difficult for them to get back their amount. So finding the alternative, the government on the same year introduced a one scheme which is called emergency credit link guaranteed. And through this, the moment the government introduced that link, and also saying that if the MSME sector is not able to pay their loans, so we are taking the guarantee, we will pay the loan. The moment the government announced this thing, they promulgated this thing, that lot of bankers came up, and they extended huge loan, they sanctioned huge loan for to the MSME sectors. through which the MSME sector was survive on that time, on that period, and also a lot of job creation also, a lot of job creation also made on that period. And this an emergency credit link guarantee in this budget, the finance minister has increased, they has extended this emergency credit link guaranteed by 2022-23. It means that this sector will invigorate more and more. To invigorate more and more of this sector means that job opportunity will create huge. So this is one of the greatest announcement of the budget. So, and the third one is that government previous budget, government sanctioned 10,000 crore for capital expenditure to every state. Now that 10,000 has been revised to 15,000 crore. Apart from it also, government also has decided to provide the 1 lakh crore for every state for their capital expenditure for 50 years with 0% interest. So this is a very strong steps to be taken by the finance minister in this budget. And definitely with this amount, the lot of projects will be launched in the different states. A lot of job opportunity will be created through this capital expenditure. Fourth thing is that is called PLA scheme. Government has included 14 sector in the PLA scheme. PLA scheme means that particular any sector, if they can increase, government has set a one target. If particular this sector reach that target, government is going to going to provide them an extra amount, or going to provide them particular going to provide them incentive. I mean, this sector will be incentivized. So naturally, the if all the sector will try to increase more productions to have the more incentives. When the when this sort of 40 when the 14 sectors will jump for the more production, it means they will be needing more they will be needing more employment. So needing more employment means through which the lot of job creation will be made through this scheme. This is a PLS scheme. Apart from it also, government this budget, government has also announced 2.37 lakh crore direct payment to be made to the farmer for the paddy and wheat procurement. So this is one of the biggest boost for the farmer, through which the farmer sector, especially the farmer, will be very much benefited from from this sector. And farmer sector will be also benefited, and a lot of job creation will be happened through this particular announcement. And apart from it also, government also announced another wonderful scheme here. Government is taking 1.5 lakh post office under the score banking system. There are a lot of remote areas where there is a absence of lot of banks there, so people are getting very much problem as they're not getting the banking facility. So if there is a presence of any post office over there, that post office to be taken to be considered to be clubbed under the core banking systems. It means that instead of bank also, any people of the remote area can get the facility from that post office, what they're supposed to get from the banking. Apart from it also, government for the defense program, you know defense procurement from has been increased from 58% to 68%. I mean, defense procurement for the procurement of defense for the domestic sector, if the that has been increased from 58 to 68 percentage. This is also big boosting for that industry, those who are involved for manufacturing of arms and ammunitions. And also the 200 TV for the education purpose. Government is going to set for a 200 channels for the education purpose. Due to pandemic, a lot of schools and colleges were closed. For that, there is a lot of problem as far as the education system was concerned. Considering this situation, government has made up its mind to set up a 200 TV channels for spreading of of the education, so that the students can get lot of facilities from these channels. So if we consider about the what would be the total expenses, what would be the total expense for the government in this budget, considering all the schemes, it is roughly government is expecting that they are going to make a expenditure 2022-23 around 39.45 lakhs crore. And what would be the earning of the government? Government is expected to have the earning around 22.84 lakhs crore. Earning in means one from through the GST or for tax collection, revenue receipt, are different source of income from the government. So government is supposed to have the earn around 22.84 lakhs crore. The government is supposed to make an expenses around 39.45 lakhs crore, and the rest amount is around 16 to 15 lakhs crore government has to borrow. So government has to borrow this. How this amount to be borrowed? The government has to borrow by selling the green bond for eco-friendly infrastructure. So this is the way government would like to borrow this 16 lakhs crore. Apart from it, also government also different the other scheme also, that is called a divestment facility. Government in this budget, government hasn't clearly mentioned about that divestment amount this budget, but definitely in the back of the mind, government has a target to get some amount through the divestment system. So this is as far as the more budget is concerned. And a lot of people are also also thinking about the Indian inflation, but the Indian inflation is very much controlled. You know that Reserve Bank for the last 3 years we have seen that keeping the repo rate and reverse repo rate unchanged, Reserve Bank has controlled the inflation very nicely. Inflation is very much controlled. Another thing I like to add up here, India is having a huge forex reserve. The Indian forex reserve right now is 634 billion dollar. India has already suppressed the Russia also, so India is having immense of forex reserve. So at any kinds of emergency, as India is having immense of forex reserve, so particular the country, this our country, so India has not to face, definitely will not face any kinds of problem. So as far as my knowledge is concerned, the way the kind of announcement has been made through this budget, I think this budget is very much growth oriented budget. In as far as long term is concerned, definitely this budget will help India to grow more. This budget will definitely invigorate our economy, and also accelerate our GDP growth. GDP growth. And then another important thing just I'd like to highlight is that India also having a target of ethanol blending around 20% by 2025. India has already been achieved the target of 9 percentage. And so if the India can achieve by 2025, that is 20% of the particular this, so through which India will be able to save the 30,000 crore of foreign exchange per year. This is one of the biggest thing. India has having a target to achieve the 20% ethanol blending by 2025. By 2000, India has already reached at 9 percentage. So this is definitely one of the biggest boost for the Indian economy. So as far as my knowledge is concerned, that budget is no doubt is a growing budget. And India hasn't increased, even for the common people, India hasn't increased even tax part. And also for the FI, foreign institution investor, also India has kept the tax part unchanged. So in short, I can tell you this is it's a very growing budget. And thank you very much.